Hortons. And you know it's from Canada because it has a maple leaf. My carry-on camera bag was 4 pounds overweight, so I've never had them call me on that. So, but it is a smaller plane, 2x2, but prop plane. But yeah, so I actually had to take out my binoculars and my 24 to 100 millimeter Canon lens and stick them in my check bag. Tried to shove them in there around my raincoat to protect them a bit, but it's a one-way flight, so they should arrive and hopefully intact. I should go to the bathroom before the flight, but geez, I don't have to go this bad. You can only get to Churchill by train or plane. There are no roads. Don't get me wrong, I love trains, but the train now from Winnipeg to Churchill is 42 hours one way. Yeah, no thanks. I'm driving from my home in Renshaw, Minnesota, up to Winnipeg, and so I'm flying up. It's expensive, but hey, you save a couple days, and that's pretty important to me right now with my full-time job and 6 other half-time jobs that I got to get back to. And why am I going in mid-September? Well, my wife, Bridget, gave me some money for Father's Day a couple years ago, and it wasn't quite enough, so I had to save up. And September is quite an affordable time, relatively. But here, when you come into the airport, it's quite a comforting sight to see a crashed plane there on the rocks by the airport. But hey, we're going to make a visit to Miss Piggy, is her name, later in this trip. Orange truck. Awesome. So excited to go, I forgot to put it in drive. It's kind of important. Polar bears, here we come. I don't see one. I want to go home. First polar bear of the trip. And all around town there are polar bears, quote unquote, signs and murals. It's pretty cool. Beluga whales are in a distant second, and nary a willow ptarmigan piece of art anywhere. But why would I go in mid-September? Well, it's far cheaper than going in peak polar bear season, which is in mid-October to mid-November. And at this time of year, you can still rent a truck and be pretty assured you can get around. The roads are not snow-covered like they will be later in October and November. So it is possible. Yeah, well, it turned out it wasn't as easy as I thought, and at the end of the second video, I'm going to give you my thoughts on if it's worth it to go to Churchill in September. Good morning. It is a gray day. It's time to load everything up. Get ready for the day. It's gonna be a good one, although there's not gonna be much light. That's these mornings. It's cold, gray, cloudy, windy. You know, you think, what in the world am I gonna see worth taking pictures of? Maybe I should have just stayed in bed. Well, we'll see. Maybe that is the case, but usually you find something. Well, here's the official Tundra Buggy. That's a trademark name, by the way. This is what you spend a lot of time doing in Churchill in September, scanning the rocky areas for white blobs with your binoculars. There are a lot of white things to check out here. Stop you in your tracks. Polar bear! Oh, nope. Right color, wrong everything else. Oh man, I am really stuck. Stupid Sparky. Now what am I gonna do? So this was actually a pretty bad situation. Really close to the shore of Hudson Bay, so polar bears could be anywhere. So I was trying to dig with my hands and some sticks under the wheels and stuffing some driftwood to see if I could get some traction to get out. I'm trying to keep one eye over my shoulder here. But about every 10 seconds I'd have to stand up and look around for polar bears. Fortunately, some folks came by and were able to call the local garage. Huge thanks to the guys at the gas station for pulling me out, and another guy too who stopped by and helped shovel, but yeah, he was buried in the sand. It's a polar bear! Woo! He's just popping his head out over there, quite a ways away. I'm gonna get behind the truck here. He's a long ways away, like a mile away. Way over there. But he just stuck his nose over a rock, and no doubt, I mean, you know, I've been looking at white things all day, trying to make him and turn him into a polar bear. This was one. Just his head. Ooh, how can I get over there? I saw a flock of geese get up and they seemed a little panicked, and I don't know if he spooked them, but yeah, how can I get over there? In a truck, not on foot. Crap, because now I don't see him. But thank you, Bridget, for making this happen. And a couple hours after I was hopelessly stuck in the sand. So why do polar bears congregate at Churchill on Hudson Bay in late fall? Well, the short answer is they are just waiting for the sea ice to form on Hudson Bay so they can get back out there and do what they love the best, which is hunting seals on the ice. That is their major food source. And this guy's funny. He was like digging through the kelp and like eating something out of there, and then he yawned and sat down, and then he laid down right there. So I'm just gonna hang out and wait. Sunset's in about an hour. It's 5:45 p.m. Still sleeping. Cute, licking his paws, doing a little paw maintenance while lazing a bed of kelp. Light is fading and he's still just laying in the kelp. He did scratch his head without getting up on a rock, which was kind of interesting. But I just hate to leave a polar bear, but he is just sleeping. Alright, he's got to save that energy for getting on the ice here in about a month and a half or 2 months. Getting close to sunset. Maybe it'll clear off tonight and there'll be some northern lights. I'm going to check the forecast when I get home. Canned stew and bread and sardines. I think every rental car I had in Churchill has check engine light on and issues with the tires. Yummy. Yummy. I don't need one of those things. I found one with a rental car. And how interesting is a sleeping polar bear? But what happened was this raven would fly up to him and then walk around him. And I thought, wow, does this raven sense this bear is dead or sick? But then the polar bear would raise his head and the raven would fly off, but he'd come back again, and check them out. So there's also an eagle nearby too, so I was kind of wondering what's going on, but nope, this polar bear is just fine. He's just tired and lazing about. I gotta keep my head on a swivel. I got a lot of rocks right behind my truck where a polar bear could pop out if I cleaned out the passenger seat in case I had to jump in really quick. I'm waiting on the polar bear to do something, but hey, a lot worse ways to spend your time. But the wind has switched out of the north. Yesterday it was out of the south. Fairly warm in the 60s, but all of a sudden now it's getting cool. Had to put on the old headband and the extra layers here. But I've got a couple hours before sunset, but I'm gonna wait it out. If he wakes up, great. You know, bird in the hand. If you got a subject in front of you, might as well stick it out, because you can think, well, down the road might be something else, or polar bear closer, but that might not be the case too, and this guy might do something spectacular. He finally woke up after about half hour, 45 minutes. But you know what? He turned and went the wrong way. Yes, he went back over the cliff. I'm waiting to see if he'll pop out along the ocean, along Hudson Bay. Yeah, he looked a little groggy, but he was not dead. Sorry, Mr. Raven and Mr. Eagle. One important point I want to make is it kind of looks like in some of these clips I am super close to this bear. Like, Sparky, what are you doing? But here's the reality. You see that outcrop along Hudson Bay in the distance. I've circled it in red here. That's where the bear is. Now, on the back of the camera with the 200 to 800 and a 2x converter, it looks like this. And at straight 800 millimeters, it looks like this. And then there is my video crop. So yeah, if you're wondering, wow, Sparky, you're too close or your lens is crappy, well, there's the explanation for both of those thoughts. But stay tuned, because, of course, Sparky does end up getting too close. Well, let's reverse that. The bear ends up getting too close to Sparky. Yeah, that's later on in the video. I'm so tired of these rough roads. I think I've driven the worst roads in the Churchill area today. Oh, my neck hurts. And I should say that this time of year, polar bears, you just got to be thinking about them anytime you're outside of town. And this lady is probably just walking home, but she's got her rifle slung over her shoulder. Smart move. Polar Bear Alley. Another white blob. There he is, my buddy, laying in the rocks. Same place. Same rock outcropping. Okay, let's see if we can get some video. I wish I had some road over there to get over there. Oh, that's been fun with this polar bear. He's just sauntering, but got some great backlit stuff. And to be more exact, rim light, where just the outline of the bear glows with the backlit fur. So now I'm going to see if I can get out in front of him. It's pretty cool. I might miss breakfast again at the hotel. Oh well, that's the way it goes. Well, I think I did get out in front of him, but never saw him again that day. But yeah, beautiful backlit conditions. Beautiful morning on the tundra, and we have a classic example of flag spruce here. All branchy on the bottom, and that's the part that's protected by the snow layer in winter, and then that middle layer that's all the branches are scoured away by the wind, leaving the flag of the flag spruce on top. And I found Larry the polar bear again, and this time he was heading in the right direction. I really thought I could get out in front of him this time. Got too flustered and lost him. I got too flustered and lost him. So I think he's heading towards the Northern Studies Center. Light is just beautiful. I hate to leave. What if he pops out back here? Okay, I gotta get out and get one more look. I don't see him. I don't see him. Trying to intercept where that polar bear might be. Rough road here. But I don't know, it's hard to judge how fast they can walk. Caribou would be nice too. I did see in the distance a big flock of snow geese get up, maybe a couple hundred. They should be moving through now. They nest up in the higher Arctic. Where are you, Tubby? You should be able to see him. I think I blew it. I was fumbling, adding a 2x extender and lost track of the bear. And had probably about 20 minutes of beautiful light and no bear. And I can't see him now either. I'm going to get up in the pickup bed and take a look. Light's gone, but well, I don't want to spook him either. back door open just in case. He's a long ways away. I don't know, could I have missed him again? How do you lose track of a half-ton animal? Unfortunately, the wind's blowing from me right towards where the bear is, so he may have caught scent of me already and spooked, but still got enough light to do some shooting, so. Oh. I am back in my truck and he's still coming. Wow, crazy. I'm shaking. Well, I guess my plan did work out pretty well, and he was not spooked, but he did see my camera move at one point and he started to turn around and go the other way, but I just kind of hunkered down and hid, and he resumed his walk. Oh my gosh, I might as well go home now. That was amazing. And it's one of those things you don't know what to do. What should I do first? What should I do? Video, you know, wide, telly, you know, you're like, ah. Okay, that was crazy. And I don't know, he came to me. I was just planted in one spot, and when he got to about, I don't know, 30 yards, I must have twitched because I was in the truck and had the window down getting some photos, and I must have twitched the lens. He didn't run off, but he kind of noticed it and turned, and he was gonna head the other way, but I hunkered down. He forgot about me and continued on past me. Whew. All right, time to get back to the hotel, have some canned Irish stew. It's a big popular thing here in Churchill. And yeah, I'm probably set my alarm for 1 a.m. see if the northern lights are out. 4 days for polar bear sightings. Here are some of my favorite photos from this segment of the trip. Superstar mammal of this episode? What could it be? I'm gonna say polar bear. Nanook to the Inuit, Ursus maritimus to the scientific world. In mid-September, there's a lot of color on the tundra, and I like the yellow shrubs in the foreground of this shot. Usually Larry, it's the only polar bear I saw the whole trip was Larry. 4 times, 1 bear. But Backlit, there was some really neat backlit opportunities, long ways away for sure. But this one might be my favorite. It's a mammal in a landscape, polar bear in a rocky landscape, but I just like the light, soft golden light, and how it kind of reveals the texture of the rocks, the glacier-worn rocks. I think I might lighten the front half of the bear in Lightroom as well. He gets a little lost in the background there. But hard to beat this one where he's looking right at me and I'm fearing for my life even though I'm in a truck. All these shot with the 200 to 800 millimeter and sometimes with a 2X, so they're not razor sharp. But hey, could you tell that? Lightroom's AI denoise feature to the rescue. What a tool. Almost feel guilty using it. And social media, perfectly fine. I'm not going to be making or selling giant prints. One more backlit shot. I really do like these rim light shots. And then, of course, bear in the landscape, but a little tighter. Just a beautiful color on the tundra. Join me next time on the next video from Churchill. We're going to concentrate on the birds of mid-September, and I'm going to let you know if it is really worth considering a trip to Churchill at this time of the year. So we'll see ya in the next episode. Take care. Have a good day.